Keep rocking all the way through your sickness. Even when you have to sing when you're sick, you could still get through the gig. Hey guys, it's Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals. I'm excited today because I'm sick. Am I excited because I'm sick? No, I hate being sick because I have to sing when I'm sick. But I'm excited to talk to you guys about how to sing when you're sick. Okay, so some tips and tricks to kind of get through it. If you have to get through a gig, sometimes when you're a professional singer, you can't cancel a gig. You're the front person and they just can't do without you. So sometimes you actually have to sing, you have to get through the gig. But here's some tips and tricks to get you through it so you don't do more damage to your voice than you have to. Your concerns for your voice are congestion, primarily your nasal congestion, because if you're not resonating, if you're not, you can probably hear a little bit in my voice. I don't have that bad of a cold, and I just took some decongestant, so it's not that bad. But if you're not, if you can't breathe through your nose, you're gonna have a tough time resonating those notes. And then what happens is you tend to overcompensate by moving that down to your throat and then pushing through with your throat, which then dries out your vocal cords and it strains your vocal cords, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. The next thing is your lung capacity is often reduced with a cold, because you're run down and you feel like, your breathing is a little bit labored. And so how I compensate for that is if I have to sing a gig that day and I'm feeling really run down, lung capacity is low, I try to take deeper breaths and hold my breath in as much as possible throughout the day. Just make that a habit throughout the day. Take a big deep breath in and hold your breath, okay, and expand your lung cavity out to the side, okay. So what that does is that provides a good diaphragm support, and your diaphragm contracts to bring that air in, okay, and just keep that air in your lungs as long as possible throughout the day. Just what you want to do is make sure your lungs have that feeling of all throughout the day having enough air inside them. When you're coming up to do that gig, you want your lungs to be used to having a lot of air inside them, because when you go to gig, you have to have that ready for that. Okay, so another concern for the voice, and this is the main concern, and I can't stress this enough, is coughing. You cannot allow yourself to cough. That will absolutely ruin your voice. Sometimes if you're coughing in the night, and I've had chronic coughs with colds and had to sing, and I knew that was the thing that just absolutely ruined my voice. And if you sing with a strained voice, you push and you have to get through the gig and you push harder, you can be out for a week, 2 weeks, not being able to sing. So whatever you do, try not to cough. Please try not to cough. And lastly, a concern for your voice is your energy level, okay? So when you have a cold, you're run down, your energy level is down, and you need to bring it to the gig, okay? You need to bring some energy there, not only just for the performance aspect of it, but singing is a very physical activity, okay? So I'm talking when you're breathing in, and you're pushing the air out, it's all through, tightening up your core, and mentally you're trying to think of how to keep your voice sustained throughout the gig. So it's all really something that requires a level of energy that you have to maintain through the gig, and so you just need to focus. So what do you do when you have to get through a gig? You have to sing, so you're gonna have to treat it, okay? A few of the main points are: make sure you rest as much as possible. Get enough sleep. Don't be out partying. When I say rest, that doesn't mean don't do any exercise, just laze about and do nothing. Some gentle exercise is good. And get yourself some cardio in, okay? So that will help get air into your lungs, and that'll get your blood pumping. That'll help to get rid of that cold or flu, okay? So trust me on that, it works. I do it a lot. Secondly is drink lots and lots of water. Your body really needs to stay hydrated and flush that cold or flu out. And food, make sure you're eating good food. You know, green leafy vegetables and bananas and oranges and kiwis, both of those have a lot of vitamin C. So eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and really good healthy foods. Thirdly, warm up properly before you have to do a gig. You do those lip trills. Sirens go all the way through. Feel that nasal resonance coming through. Okay, you should really try to feel your front of your face vibrating. Okay, that will also help to vibrate some of that, you know, congestion away. And when you're doing your warm-up, you'll know the rough bits of your voice and you can stay away from those rough bits during the gig. So the warm-up is really, really key. Also, some really good remedies. I'll post a link up here to a really good video my buddy Ken Tamplin did on a lot of different remedies. You know, he's really good into the herbal stuff. He's done a lot of work on finding remedies. One thing I might add to that list, I like to use a nasal spray. Now, don't go for one of those nasal sprays that has chemicals in it. Just use a saline spray. A good saline spray to clear out your nose 5-10 minutes before the gig. So the main things you have to worry about during the gig is your congestion, your lung capacity, your energy, and after the gig, the post-gig. For your congestion, I use a decongestant, I use a nasal spray, again saline nasal spray, and also use a steamer sometimes, mask that'll go over your face, or you can take a long hot shower, or you can just use boiling water in a pan and put some eucalyptus in there and put a towel over your head. Then you have your lung capacity to be concerned with. So a decongestant helps. If you're taking that for your nasal congestion, that will help with your lung capacity as well. Another thing again for your lung capacity is hold your breath. Make sure you're taking in enough breath during the gig. Be conscious of it, that you're taking in enough breath between lines. Always try to think between lines, taking a breath. So it's like your lungs are like constantly filled with air. If you think that way, that I'm trying to have my lungs constantly at full capacity, that will help you to breathe in between each line like I'm doing now, and you always have enough air to push out. Okay, I know it seems a bit weird, but do it and you'll find that it helps. So the other thing is your energy level. You're going to need a good level of energy for the gig. I would take some vitamin B12, and I would take some vitamin D. Those both will give you energy for the gig. Stray away from those energy drinks, you know, because they're just loads of sugar in them. Even if you take the sugar-free ones, there's a lot of chemicals in there, and it just makes you feel all jittery and it's going to make your illness worse in the long run if you try to put chemicals in your system to try and compensate for your body that's not really working. Always put good stuff in your body, and your body will thank you for it. And then lastly is after the gig, your throat probably will be a little bit sore. Gargle with salt water. Take about a half of a mug with boiling water and put a teaspoon of salt in there and dissolve it and let it cool down till you want to gargle with warm salt water. Okay, so when it gets to a good temperature that you can actually gargle with it, gargle with that a few times. Take a couple of minutes and gargle with it. That will help soothe your throat. I would avoid sprays because they just tend to numb your throat and give you a false sense of security, and you could push through a note that you shouldn't be trying to hit, and that will do more damage to your vocals than just straying away from that. Prevention, okay, so you want to prevent the cold from coming on in the first place. Keep your hands clean. The next thing is overall health, especially when it's cold and flu season. Take care of yourself. Eat fresh fruits and vegetables, and don't drink too much and smoke, and you know what's right. If you're a professional singer, treat your instrument well and it will treat you well. Okay, so the other thing is weather, okay? So it's starting to get cold now. It's September and you get these cold snaps sometimes. Now I'm sure it doesn't actually cause the colds and flus, but it certainly feels to me like when the weather changes, I'm way more susceptible to getting cold and flu, and it's always right around this time. And lastly, your mental health, your vibration, your mind is driving your body and everything that you do. Take care of your mind. Put good thoughts in your mind, good vibrations. I'm sending you guys good vibrations right now, and I hope you're feeling that. Keep the vibes good. Keep rocking all the way through your sickness. Even when you have to sing when you're sick, you could still get through the gig. Lots of water, lots of rest, mind the congestion, don't cough, okay? And you'll get through the gig. When you're doing your warm-up, okay, be conscious of that. Okay, there's a little cracky bit there, and if I have to sing a high part, sometimes you'll have to just take the easy way on a vocal, you know, like say living on a prayer. If you're singing living on a prayer, you know, you can't push all the way through the whoa, living on a prayer. You don't want to push through that, so you just take a back seat and do falsetto. Whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand instead of take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Just take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Whoa! I'd say 90% of the people out there probably have to sing that falsetto anyway. And most of the people listening to you probably won't know. And I'm pretty sure that Bon Jovi doesn't even sing those parts now live. So, you know, you don't have to, okay? He has backing singers to sing those higher parts. But you know, you can just get through it with falsetto. Don't damage your voice, because if you damage your voice, you'll be out for a week or two, and that's just not worth it, because, you know, your band's not going to thank you for it, because they're going to try to have to find somebody else and when you really can't sing. And then if you have to sing when you really can't sing, it does even more damage. So take care of your voice and it will take care of you. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see the next video. Until then, rock your best vocals, even if you're sick.